Hey, what's going on, everybody? Got an exciting video. It's finally the play-in game and playoff time in the NBA for NBA Sorare. So we're going to cover this week. I think it's week 49. I don't even know if they're going to call it that, but that's where we're at. So definitely some unique strategy for this week that we're going to get into in this video. And we're going to build some lineups as well, talk about some value that we can find out there. So let's get right into it. And as soon as the slate locks the first play-in games, I'm going to be going live for those. I believe it's on Tuesday on Playback, so follow me. It'll be linked in the description, also the pinned comment. We got 10 followers, baby, on Playback, so let's run that number up to 20, 30, and then I'll post it on Twitter and my Discord as well, and we'll get a bunch of people in there and watch some of the games and see how our Sorare guys do, and probably some NBA Top Shot challenges as well that are going on. What are you doing if you're not going over in Playback and watching games with other people and chatting? It's a lot of fun. I went live for the first time, kind of figured it out, so now we're ready to roll there. For Sorare this week, just missed my limited contender. Davion Mitchell didn't play Sunday, which hurt, and then I expected bigger performance from Jordan and Lopez, but it is what it is. The most impressive one here is I got a limited tier 5 in the common pickup. Came in 120th out of 55,000 people. Johnny Davis has been a beast. Fortunately, you can't use him anymore. Also did pretty good over here. Got a common tier 1 because Barlow got a 55. Pretty crazy, even with Morant getting a 25. So if we open up playoff details, this is very important. Scores for each game week will be cumulatively totaled to produce a tournament score. So basically, that means if a player has 2 games and they score, on average between those 2 games, 25 points, they're going to get a score of 50. At least that's how I'm reading it. I could be totally off here, but I think that's how it is. So it's not just the best score out of their game. So we're definitely going to want to target players that could play in 2 or 3 games this week, because most of the players are just going to have 1 game. But we can take advantage of this and get these cumulative scores, which is going to be a huge boost, especially in this first week with the play-in games. So for instance, coming over here, it says Anthony Davis on the Lakers has 1 game. He's actually guaranteed 2 games, because if they win their play-in game, he'll get the play-in game in this week, and then it goes till April 16th. So he's going to get his game 1 of the playoffs as well. Even if they lose game 1 as the 7 seed, they're going to get a second chance of the play-in, so they'll get 2. And if they lose the first, win the second, then they're getting 3 games. So these teams in the 7 and 8 spots are guaranteed 2 games this week, which is a lot more than most of the other teams. And they could even get 3 games. So you're definitely going to want to target the 7 and 8s, and even some of the playoff teams, the 9 and 10s this week, because they're guaranteed 1 game. They could get 2 or 3 as well. So that's a massive key. Like Steph Curry as the 6th seed, Sabonis is the 6th seed. They only have 1 game. They're guaranteed at least 1, but there's no way they can get 2 this week. So play-in teams, 7 and 8 seeds is what you're going to want to target. So I hope that makes sense. If we come over to the schedule, April 11th when it starts, Atlanta and Miami, winner of this is going to get a playoff series on the 15th or the 16th for this game week. Loser's going to have to play another game, and then they could get a playoff series as well. So the teams we're looking to target mostly is going to be Atlanta, Miami, Minnesota, and the Lakers. And rotations are really short here in the playoffs. There's not a lot of injuries for these teams going into the playoffs, so it's going to be hard to find value this week. What you can do is come look at the box score for these games that mattered on Sunday. Minnesota, New Orleans here. Look who's playing the majority of these minutes. These play-in teams are going to get boosted. They can get 2-3 games here. So look, like Josh Richardson, 29 minutes off the bench. That could be a good value play. So coming to look at Josh Richardson, he's just a 12 cap, $2, and he played 29 minutes. He can definitely put up more than 12 in this. Also, if the Pelicans win, he's going to get 2 games, which is huge as well. Could even get 3 if they win twice. Then looking at Minnesota, they're the 7 seed. And, Jaden McDaniels broke his hand. Gobert, he's probably going to play, but he might not. Look at some of these guys on the bench. Taurean Prince, 35 minutes. Kyle Anderson, 37. Even McLaughlin and Nickeil Alexander-Walker Walker 18 and 16. In a big game, these guys are still getting minutes, so we can get these guys as value. Like Nikhil Alexander-Walker, just a 9 cap, could be pretty good here. Torian Prince, he is a 14 cap, could be a really good play. His price is up to $9 because of that. Kyle Anderson, not going to be great value. Yeah, 34 cap, but kind of under the radar pick there as well. So for the Lakers, they needed to win this game. These are the guys that are going to be playing in the playoffs. Achimura off the bench. Gabriel Beasley here. Mo Bamba only saw 1 minute, so we might see, a lot of Beasley, Brown, Gabriel, Achimura off the bench. Those are where we're going to find our value here. Achimura's 16 cap is going to be a little high. Beasley, a 13 cap is pretty decent. Gabriel at a 14 cap is pretty decent as well. More value, we could look at the Clippers here. Off the bench in a must-win game here, Plumlee played 22 minutes. Highland played 18. Terrence Mann played 20. Norman Powell played 32. These are some of the guys that we're going to want to target for sure. Even Eric Gordon played 21. Zubac played 25. So these are the guys here. Plumlee just a 15 cap, pretty good. Eric Gordon at a 21 cap seems pretty good as well. Even like some big minute getters on better teams, if you're looking to buy for the entire playoffs, like PJ Tucker, his cap's 11. He's probably not going to get you massive scores like in the 30s, but he gets you something in the 20s at an 11 cap and a cheap price. He's got a 19 in the past 5 games, so you're really hoping for something like that, and then he's going to play mid-20s, even 30 minutes in the playoffs. So coming over to build some lineups, like I said, targeting these 7-8 seeds for this week: Minnesota, Los Angeles, Miami, Atlanta, because these teams are guaranteed 2 games and could play 3. So Anthony Davis, it says he has 1 game here. That's because they haven't scheduled out the first round for some of these teams that they don't know who they're going to play because the play-ins haven't happened. So we can go Anthony Davis. I'm going to come down to LeBron. I know I have him, and he's in a good spot here as well. Guaranteed 2 games at a low cap. I'd also go to Anthony Edwards, guaranteed 2 games. That only leaves me with 20 left. So I'm still looking for Hawks and Heat players at Timberwolves and Lakers as well. So I could go Noel and I can go Strus. I could do something like this, So we got all 7-8 seeds here. Some of these guys are going to play 2 games. Some are going to play 3 in this game week. So I really like targeting these types of players, and I use basically all my cap. I got 1 remaining point, so that's what I'm going to go with. Limited contender, I can't exactly get that done, but an interesting thing here is you could target some guys that are going to go under the radar because it says they have no game, even though they technically do have a game, because like the Grizzlies, they don't know who they're going to play because the play-in games haven't started. So Jaren Jackson, he could be lower owned because he just says no game next to him. I'm going to go with Jaren Jackson and Dillon Brooks because of that. I think that's a pretty sneaky play because I don't have, Lakers, Timberwolves, Hawks really to play in here. So then for some value, I could go Josh Richardson, who I talked about on the Pelicans. He's only guaranteed 1 game, but if they win that first game, he could play in a second game. And I could go Larry Nance as well, and that leaves me with 11, which I could go PJ Tucker. I could do something like this, and I think that's a decent lineup. If I wanted to I could get up to a Congo who's guaranteed 2 games as well, and I think that's actually a better strategy. So I could take out Dillon Brooks and go a Congo here and lock that in, and I think that would be a pretty solid lineup. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in a champion lineup here. It probably doesn't have a great chance, but I can go McCollum, Zubac, Harris, Dillon Brooks, and Lou Dort. And it could be somewhat competitive. We'll see how many people enter the limited champion contest, and I'll just throw this in here as well. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, definitely subscribe to the channel and follow me on Playback. We're going to be watching these play-in games. It's going to be awesome. Right when the slate locks and these games go live, we're going to be going live here on Playback. So pin the comment and also in the description. I'll see you there, and I'll catch you in the next video.